So I'd like to now introduce Qian Zhao, and he's going to be talking to us about joint work that was done between Bloomberg, TU Eindhoven, and the University of Minnesota. This is for preference into decision-making, modeling user interactions in recommender systems.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here to present our paper from preferencing to decision making. And I'm Qian, I'm from Bloomberg. This work was done at MovieLens research at the University of Minnesota. And these are my collaborators. So most prior research on recommender system research has been focused on learning from user action feedbacks. For example, clicks, ratings, etc. This work, however, is different in the sense that we try to learn from all user browsing activities, including action and also inaction, which I'm going to explain in a moment. So this is MovieLens. So MovieLens is a personalized movie recommendation system powered by user ratings, explicit feedback, and we also have some implicit feedbacks, for example, clicks here. As you might notice that these observations of explicit or implicit feedback, they have a context. They don't come from like nowhere or stand alone. The user coming here just for rating and clicking. So first, we notice that the majority of the items displayed together with these action items do not attract any action from the user. So these are inaction items that I referred to. So this points to a key under-emphasized factor, modeling factor in the literature, that is, this within page comparison, the decision of action versus inaction from the user. Secondly, so I only show you one page view, but if we can imagine that prior to this, there are multiple page views from the user. Right? So hypothetically, these page views will impact the user behavior on this current page. So this points to a second missing modeling factor, that is the temporal dependency to prior browsing. So why are these missing factors important to model? I'm going to explain with two examples. First, on one hand, we may not want a system to keep recommending the same recommendations again and again, ignoring what has been recommended to us. On the other hand, we may not want a system to be too sensitive, also ignoring what has been displayed to us in a different sense. For example, if I'm interested in two of them, and I watch one of them, and when I come back, that one is gone. I couldn't find that prior recommendation anymore in the previous page view. So that leads to this key modeling problem that we try to address, that is how to model all user interactions, taking into account temporal browsing page by page, an action item, and inaction items. So we draw some inspiration to come up with a model from the psychology literature. So if you look there, you might find this theory, decision field theory. This theory describes, as a connection is the network representation of the theory, it describes the mental process that happens in the person or subject's mind when faced with multiple options to make a decision. Here, these are three options, A, B, and C, and those are some attributes from the options. The user selected attend to different attributes of that option and make comparison with each other, which produces valence, which is end result of the comparison. That produces preference, which recurrently accumulates as time goes. So, as it suggests, preference is actually the end result of micro-level decision-making processes. So if we plot out the preference level, along with the deliberation time, we might observe this kind of horse racing picture, where when one of the options crossed the preference level threshold, the decision was made. Or correspondingly, in the recommender system, it means that the action is performed on the page view, in the page view. So we propose to model this with a page-level RNN model. That is, we prepare. Yes. So each user is represented as a page view sequence. So there are some similarities with the series, but there are also important differences I want to point out. So we did not exactly implement the series. So instead of using explicitly the attributes, we use learning embedding from data, and the connection weights, they are estimated from data instead of being specified. And we have much more items, 24 items than 3. So it makes it a little bit more complex. And also the contrast layer we use value to model that, and we use RNN to model the preference accumulation. To further illustrate what it means that the page view sequence is the deliberation process, if you look at the second page view item 4, there's an action here. So that's the cumulative result of the first page view and the second page view. And in the first page view, it did not cross the preference level threshold. There was no action observed in that page. If we illustrate this model with a neural network architecture language, it turns out it's not that complicated. So in the bottom, that's the input. We have the item action, inaction embedding, which is fed into the rebel layer to do the contrast, which is further fed into RNN to do the preference accumulation or the state modeling. And that is used to fit the next page view, the display, whatever displayed by the system and what is acted on by the user. We're fortunate enough to have this dataset, MovieLens system logs, to test these models. This requires special user browsing dataset. These are the statistics. These are the year of browsing logs. We did a temporal splitting, training, and testing. And as a comparison, we look at this standard user model, SVD initial factorization, and SVD++, in addition to the user latent factor, it has additional item set interacted by the user, and RR, this is user item sequence, modeling the temporal dependence of the action items. And this comes to the result. We first observed modeling user actions as a sequence through RNN seems to learn better user representation compared with SVD and SVD++. And we also observed page-level RNN gives substantially better accuracy compared with RNN that only models the action item sequence. As a second substantial part of the work, we did a systematic examination of these preference models that appeared in the prior literature. Mainly, this is 3 categories. For example, independent binary choice that corresponds to logistic laws, the competitive choice among multiple options, softmax laws. We have relevant preference order that corresponds to, for example, pairwise ranking laws. And all these 3 preference models, they require a notion of a negative item set. So it could be mostly studied negative sampling, or it could be displayed by inaction, as I illustrated in the beginning. We found some intriguing results from this. First, we found that softmax logistics preference models are sensitive to the choice of negative item set. If we use that display by the inaction item and negative item set, logistics softmax doesn't really learn much compared with the sample negative item set. But pairwise ranking is more robust. It learns equally well on both types of negative item sets. I skipped some nuanced results from the paper, but here, these are the 2 key messages I hope to deliver through this talk. The first one is that if we jointly model user, these 3 aspects, temporal, browsing, action, inaction, we can gain better recommendation accuracy, overlay accuracy. And also we consider it's really interesting future work to test the impact of this model on the user experience in a field experiment, for example. And we propose to go from simplified preference modeling assumptions into modeling the complex micro-level user decision-making processes, borrowing some theories from psychology. And with that, I conclude my talk. Thank you.
So we have time for one question. So I see one now. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Thanks for the nice talk. Since you are testing psychological theories or attention theories, wouldn't a better competitor for your model be a click-based model, for instance, that looks at the order of different alternatives and examines one after another and then settles on a certain position, rather than just taking a generic SVD type of approach?
Right. So, I'm not sure this. So I guess we have SVD. So it's more like an increasing complexity of the model. So SVD as a baseline. We also have the click action level, for example, the model action item sequence, which is the RNN model. It seems to be what you were asking about. Is that
right? Right. There are many click models out there already, which might be very good competitors to their click level view, right? So So there is then a book published in Click Models, very popular in the CIR community. You know, I mean, maybe they are the competitor that we are looking at, right? So this ecological level, attention, temporal theory.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree with you that you can do more. I mean, there will be future work on top of this as well. So I do care a lot about controlling factors because when I increase the complexity of the model, I want to know, for example, exactly what is changed so that I can make some more sound conclusions. You're right that probably there are a lot of models out there. I think it would be interesting to also take a detailed look at this model to see what has changed and run more experiments.
Okay, thank you. So let's hold the applause for the very end, and we'll do one final one for all the speakers. So thank you, and
Thank you.
speaker